Yo, what is going on, guys? Surge Danger here and welcome back to another video on my channel. On this video, I'll be covering my last ever Arrow Season 7 video, as next year's obviously going to be Season 8. This is my final review for Arrow Season 7 Episode 22, which is the season finale of Arrow, otherwise entitled, You Have Saved This City. If you didn't watch the episode though, then don't watch this video because I will be covering next level major spoilers. But for those who are staying, then you are welcome to stay, and here's my review. So we start off the episode right after where we left off last episode, and oh my god, that opening scene was probably the best, if not one of the best opening scenes I've ever seen in a TV show. And I'm most likely going to put that as my intro so you guys could see it as well for those who don't watch Arrow. Anyways, it's basically Team Arrow about to get arrested, and Oliver just shoots this explosive arrow at the police, and then they get distracted by that, and Team Arrow just dive off the building using their grappling hooks, and it was just so sick, and I got chills from it. And we had 4 returning characters for this episode, being Curtis, Earth 2 Laurel, Bronze Tiger, and one of them where I'll be mentioning later on. Just to mention though, this episode was rushed for some reason, which is why we had unanswered questions, and maybe because they reshot the episode due to Emily Bett Rickards leaving the show probably. I honestly don't know why, but I don't know why they did it. And this is probably why the fans got disappointed in some parts of the episode. I do understand why that is. But anyways, Bronze Tiger he appears in some riot where Team Arrow is trying to evacuate the place, and we basically see this guy insult Oliver saying like, you're meant to be prison and everything, and we see Bronze Tiger punching that civilian. It's just like he's trying to save your life, something. And then basically they're trying to evacuate the place due to Emiko's virus thing about to launch. And we do see it actually take effect on one of the citizens, and yeah, it's not very pleasant. So this episode mostly took place in Palmer Tech, as we did see in the trailer. Most of the scenes in the trailer were in Palmer Tech, and we had loads of incredible fight scenes, and it was just so cool to watch. And James Bamford killed it directing this episode, and obviously he was well known for his action sequences and stuff. And one of the best fight scenes in my opinion was the Bronze Tiger, Roy, and Diggle fighting the Ninth Circle members. I did have like this favorite fight scene in this episode, and I will get to that later on, probably towards the end, because it does include the flash forwards. So first, and then we had the most disappointing part, and the part that was like rushed, and it was Oliver versus Emiko, and basically Oliver manipulating her to redeem herself, which was disappointing because this girl basically caused all of this, created the Green Arrow, and caused all those major deaths from season 1 to 7, including Robert Queen, making the yacht fall as well, the Queen's Gambit fall off as well, sink, and making Oliver go to Lian Yu and stuff like that. And then last 2 episodes ago, she drops the building on them. So this is why I don't get why Oliver's still trying to redeem her, and I would have actually liked it if Oliver actually killed Emiko. And basically Emiko and Oliver eventually do team up against the Ninth Circle members, and out of nowhere, this was so disappointing, we get a new character called Beatrice or whatever her name was. And all she did was basically throw this knife at Emiko, and she kills her. So this was very disappointing, as we just got like this new character introduced, and out of nowhere she kills one of the major characters of this season. And basically we find out that the Ninth Circle have some contract on Oliver and his team, which does eventually lead to something happening, which I'll get to later on as well. I would just like to say this was such a horrible ending for Emiko, and they just wasted the character. And we then see the Mark of Four setup, which was the more interesting part of of the episode. Um, yeah, that's like the goodbye Team Arrow part. Now we get to the most interesting part of the episode, and by far my favorite part of the episode. And it was the Olicity scenes at towards the end, and they were at the house where Mia was born, and we probably got like a 5 month time jump. I'm not sure how long it was, and then basically we re-see Felicity's birth to Mia's smoke, and then we see those Oliver moments with Mia, and like those moments she grew up with Oliver. And next we see like the best part, and it was when this spoiler person came inside Oliver and Felicity's house, and Oliver like grabs a knife and about to cut his neck off or something, and we see the monitor, and they're talking about the deal they made back in the Elseworlds crossover. They're talking about basically what the multiverse is requiring from him to obviously stop the what's to come next year, which is obviously the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline. And we find out that Oliver dies, which was without doubt so predictable, and it is now confirmed thanks to the flash forwards. And yes, I will get to that later on as well. And we had this terrible music. However, it was a long Olicity scene, and it was a good one. And Oliver basically says bye to Felicity. Now I'm just going to talk about season 8 at first. So as now I think that there will be 3 storylines now, which will be Oliver and the Monitor traveling the multiverse to recruit heroes for Crisis, present day Star City and what's to come with Team Arrow and stuff, and obviously the flash forwards. With Oliver and Monitor traveling the multiverse, I think that's why we see this actor known as Tom Welling, who obviously plays Superman in Smallville, and we do know that he will be appearing in Arrow season 8. So probably he plays Superman. If not Superman, then probably one of a hero, superhero, and Oliver probably recruits him. Now moving on to the flash forwards, we had this cool fight scene at the start as well, where Mia throws this knife at these stormtroopers. I'm gonna call them. Where Mia throws this knife at the stormtroopers, and basically, flash forward, Team Arrow just beat them up and stuff. And then we have the William and Renee one, where Zoe saves him, and basically Felicity making Archer not being able to scan, Queen, or smoke DNA, meaning that Mia could walk around anywhere without being tracked. And Felicity is basically talking about how she failed to raise her kids and give them normal lives, as we know that that's what she promised Oliver, to give their kids a normal life, to give their children normal lives. But thanks to the flash forward, we know it doesn't go that way, and they're in their vigilante life basically. Towards the end of the episode, at the end of the episode, we do see this Queen family reunion, and in Oliver's grave, and we do actually see Emiko Queen's grave next to Robert Queen and Oliver Queen's as well. So that does also confirm that both Oliver and Emiko are dead. And then we do also see the OGs leave, being Felicity, Renee, Roy, Dinah, and they're basically fugitives now. And we see the main people stay, which is Connor, Mia, William, Zoe. And what I would also like to mention is what the Monitor said to Oliver and Felicity in that scene, as he did say he came to the Queen house, which is Mia's birth house, let's just say, and he basically had no intention of harming Mia, and that she plays a really big role at the future. And this this could basically be foreshadowing that Mia could probably most likely get her own spin-off, as we also had this awesome fight scene, which was my favorite fight scene in this episode, and it was when Mia destroyed the wall, when she climbed the Glade wall and destroyed it and beat up those guards. It was just so cool to watch. And what I also liked from is that Mia was using Oliver's quiver and bow and arrows as well, which was cool. But one thing I wished was if Mia actually wore Oliver's suit as well, to just like, show that the Green Arrow's legacy continues. But I am really excited to see what's going to happen in season 8. And Mia was probably my highlight character of this episode. Towards the end, we did have this, and actually it is the ending, and we had Felicity leaving with the Monitor, and she says she hasn't seen Oliver in a long time, and she basically goes to see Oliver, but then the Monitor says, wherever you're going, there's no coming back. So then people are trying to find out where Felicity went at the end, as we do know that Emily Bet Rickards is leaving this season. So so probably this is to end Felicity in the flash forwards as well. So I think that Felicity actually went to one of the safe havens in the comics. It's in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and the havens is basically this it's a paradise dimension where a version of Superman also is. And yeah, it's just a safe dimension where probably most likely for fallen heroes that sacrifice their lives in Crisis. And yeah, overall this episode for me personally was perfect. Like, apart from the Emiko things and the Rush plot, I love this episode. And overall, I give it a 9.8. And just before I end the video, I would like to say that I will also be making a Crisis on Infinite Earths video, because I don't like it when my Arrow videos or like other videos exceed 10 minutes, just so it doesn't get so boring. So after my Flash Season 5 episode 22 being the finale review, I will do a Crisis on Infinite Earths theory for Arrow Season 8. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. And see you in my Flash video which will be out later today.